Hello. We're going to get started. Right, it's 10 o'clock. So first I'd like to welcome you to the last day of the session and the very last session of the conference. I hope everyone's enjoyed the conference so far, had fun, learned a lot. Just a note, the silent auction is going to close in 5 minutes. So get your last bids in. And then at the end of the session, you can check and see if you won. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors again. Our platinum sponsor, Glacier Bank. Our gold sponsor, Wells Fargo. NeighborWorks of Montana. Housing Solutions. Enterprise. RBC. GMD. Department of Commerce. And Stockman Bank. So let's thank our sponsors. And then the sponsors that we had for the breaks, Opportunity Bank, Infinity Management, and the Human Resource Development Council. So let's thank them. Okay, and now I'll have Penny Cope come up and do some other thank yous.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ravonda. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming in this morning, and thanks for helping us have a fantastic conference. I really loved it, and I hope everyone else did as well. I wanted a chance just to stand up here for a moment and thank Amanda, who is the Director of Catering here at the Copper King, and all of her staff. You guys could come out, or if you want, you're shy over there. All of Amanda's staff, you guys, you provided such a perfect venue for us. The meals were perfect, the rooms, I mean everything. Thank you guys, you really helped us, and it was a joy being around you. Yep. And I have, do you want to give that to him? We got a little basket of goodies. So thank you, just a little token of our appreciation. We'll be back as soon as we can. Yep. And then I'd also like everyone, if I could have just that moment to thank everyone that I know of that really put in the hours that makes this conference possible. Katie and Hannah, Michelle and Maureen from NeighborWorks Montana, Bruce and Stacy and Todd and Paula, Tessa, Ashley, Maris, Mikhail, Tiffany, Leslie, Dave Morgan, Justin Shadell, all from Montana Housing. And I really, if she's in here, I'd like to thank Jennifer for just stepping up and being the MC yesterday. And you did an amazing job. At the last minute, she grabbed that job and just took it. And then the last thing, I would just really like to thank all the session organizers. I know all the work you do, and the session presenters. You guys, it's a thankless job, but look at how fantastic our sessions are. I hear everyone talking about how the choices you have to make. So please, if you appreciate that, think about raising your hand next year. When we need expertise, whatever knowledge you have to share with others, think about raising your hand when we're searching for presenters next year. And thank you all. I love being around y'all.
And thanks to Penny too. She has worked tirelessly on this conference. Thank you so much. Okay, so this morning's session, we are, it's going to be kind of informal. We're going to be talking about how housing has impacted people. And so I'd like to have two of my residents join me, Katie Shipley and Earl Lacombe. If you want to come up, they're going to give their story. And then we'll hear from some others too for their stories. Okay, before I let them get started, I just want to give you a couple stories of my own. So, you know, I've been doing this for a while, and I think a lot of times when you get in our positions, you get caught up in the bureaucracy, the paperwork, the budgets, And sometimes you forget why you do what you do. And especially when you're doing more development, I mean, sometimes you lose kind of touch. And so I'm always happy to hear from residents about how our housing has impacted them. Sometimes I don't hear the best stories, so when I hear good ones, I'm really happy, and it keeps me energized to keep doing what I do. So I'm going to give you a couple of stories, just briefly. One that just happened on Friday. I was flying back from Philadelphia, and I was sitting next to a gentleman on a plane, and we were talking about what we were doing in Philadelphia, and I was telling him, and he goes, "Oh, housing, that's a great thing." And usually when you tell somebody you work in affordable housing, their eyes glaze over and they don't want to talk. But he was really interested because he has a brother who has been in and out of rehab, has been sober for I think 8 months, and is having a really tough time finding a place to live and getting the services he needs. He currently lives in a 3-bedroom house with 8 other people. He has to pay $600 a month to share a room. So his brother helped him with his rent. The guy is doing day jobs, and all he wants is his own place to live so that he can get services that he needs and have a stable place to be. And I thought, that's what everybody needs, especially someone like that. So, I was given the guy next to him on the plane some ideas about who to contact in Salt Lake and some other places. And I really, truly hope his brother can find a place and be successful. So, I think that's what we all want, for people to be successful. A few years ago, when I was actually doing all the Section 8 work at our housing authority, I got to know a lot of our tenants, and I had one in particular who always did everything right. She came to all of her appointments, she reported all of her she did everything. And so one day she came to an appointment and she said, I'm working now, I want to give up my voucher so that someone else who needs it can have it. And I said, we're still paying a part of your rent. And she said, I think I can manage. And I thought, well, okay, that's your choice. And so she gave up her voucher, and then she sent me a thank you note, which I still have, because again, it reminds me of why we do what we do. And a few months later, I saw her at the hospital working, and she thanked me again and said, without the Section 8 assistance, she would have never been able to do what she did, to go to school and get a job and to be on her own. And so those kind of stories make me happy and make me glad to be in this business. So joining me today, I have 2 residents from the Housing Authority in Butte. Earl Lacombe has been a resident of ours for 13 years, and Katie Shipley has been a resident for the first time, 11 years, and now just recently moved back in. So we're going to hear from them about how housing has impacted them and what it's meant to them. So, who wants to go first? So Katie will go first.
Hi. In 2001, I moved into the Silver Bow Homes, and it allowed me the opportunity, not just financially, but emotionally and mentally, to grow, because I was fresh out of a divorce and raising my 2 children. And so as a single mom, finances were tight. And I was able to graduate, is how I put it, from the Silver Bow Homes to one of their houses and the Elm Street apartments. And throughout the years, not just for Vonda, but Clarissa and Michelle and the other people in the office, always were available to listen, to help. And when I had family that was in a tight bind, I was able to open my door to them for a short period until they were back on their own feet. And in 2012, I left the security net, so to speak, because I had a job that I have been at for 11 years now, and was on my own with my son. And very long story short, last August, I adopted my grandchildren. And shortly before that, I had called because I needed the family's help in raising my babies. And I was moving back to Montana because that's where my parents are, so they can help me. So I called and I spoke with Michelle, and I'm pretty sure she spoke with Clarissa and Ravonda, and they let me know they would have an apartment. So I'm blessed in the fact that I was able to literally move 3 minutes down the sidewalk from my parents, who are in the Mountain View apartments, right above us. And my 3 kids can go back and forth to see their grandparents, be at home with me, so on and so forth. We're there right now so that I can rebuild my credit again, because as anyone knows, an adoption is not cheap. And I did all that I needed to do in order to adopt my grandkids. So I'm rebuilding my credit so that I can buy a house. And they know this, and have been absolutely wonderful. It allows us the opportunity to be able to grow as people because you're paying things off. You don't have to worry about the hot water heater going. You don't have to worry about a leak. You can pick up the phone and say, can you please come fix this? But you are learning and you're understanding that when you do have your own home, these are going to be your responsibility. So it's preparing you for the future. And the fact that they have the houses and the Elm Street apartments, which are gorgeous as well, it just allows everyone the opportunity to be able to save and do what they need to do to grow and be their own homeowner. And that's one thing that I'm just really grateful that I was able to get back in and be able to, you know, move forward in the process of being able to buy a home. So I can't say thank you enough to the Housing Authority of Butte, because they have been wonderful, not just for me, but my extended family as well.
Hi, my name's Earl Lacombe. I've been with housing for about 13 years. I got into the Silverbow Homes right fresh out of a bad breakup, and, you know, drugs involved and stuff like that. But thanks to Michelle and Clarissa and them folks up there, they got me into an apartment at the Silverbow Homes. I was there for about a year and a half, and then Clarissa told me that they had a scattered house if I was interested. Well, I still had my kid, my 2 babies at home with me, that, you know, it would be a better thing for them to have their own rooms and grow in a house instead of maybe an apartment. But yeah, I took the house. I've been in the house since then, but it's been great. The housing people have been great to us. You know, as Kathy said, that, you know, when you got a problem, all you got to do is call them, and they're there to fix it. The other houses with landlords that you call, they seem to, you know, put you off for months at a time. And, you know, I've had leaks, I've had problems. My bathroom last year just got redone because it fell apart. But they had no quims or qualms about it whatsoever. They came in, they fixed it, it's gorgeous. I like it. I can take a shower now. I'm not a bath type of guy, but my granddaughter loves baths, I don't. And now I got my kids back at home with me because they got kind of shanghaied and kicked out of a house that they were renting, and the guys sold it out from under them. So now they're back home with me. And I got a 3-bedroom, but with 5, 6 people in there, it's a little cramped. But they're my kids, and I can't kick them out on the street. Not that I wouldn't want to once in a while, but I don't. But the housing has been great for us. I can't say one bad thing about it. It's all been good, positive, and for the other people around town that are in housing. Some of them not so good, some of them are really good, but You know, this housing has been a great thing for people like us. You know, we do need help at times. You know, and like you said, you know, our credit ain't that great. Mine, I'm trying to build back up, and maybe, hopefully I can buy my own house and stuff. But for all in all, housing's been great to us. They've been there all the time we need them. You can call them, they're there within 48 hours, they'll come down and fix what the problem is. And all I can say is great stuff about it. Clarissa's been fantastic. I got a problem, I call her, she pretty much takes care of it for me and stuff. And the maintenance people are great. The office is fantastic. I never have no problems with my rent or anything like that. And if I do have a problem, all I got to do is call and tell them, well, I'm going to be a little short this week, but and then the following week I'll have it caught up, and I never have no backlash from it, which is really good. And you know, my kids, my grandkids, and my daughter, they're happy where they're at the moment. But like she said too, you know, Dad, we got to get out and get on our own. But you know, it's tough. $1,200 a month for a 3-bedroom house is ridiculous. And how these landlords in town